Welcome to In the Gay Reboot, the podcast where we're going to attempt to talk about different shows and what we would do in the gay reboot, where we potentially just make the show more gay, make the characters more gay, make the plot more gay. IDK depends on the show.
I'm Erica, and this is Olivia.
I'm Erica. No one's buying it.
Shut
no
up.
one's buying it. The video quality is terrible because her computer is ass, and I don't even know why we're doing a video, but that's something that will eventually, if we even do a video, we might just release this as audio. But if you're watching this with your eyeballs,
all this is going to get cut out.
You're going to keep it because it adds character.
Okay.
So if you're watching this with I do. So if you're watching this with your eyeballs, sorry about the ridiculously bad quality of that. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do VEEP to start, right? If a lot of people probably honestly haven't watched VEEP, what's Hercules?
Yeah. Okay, so let's give a little recap of what VEEP is then. It's a TV show. I want to say it came out in the 2010s.
Yeah, 2010s.
Do you have your phone on you?
I don't know, but essentially, let me see. Okay, why are you doing this?
No,
okay.
you started describing VEEP. I will look it up.
I'm already looking it up. Okay, so
VEEP is about this lady, and at first she's the vice, and all of her entourage, and at first she's the vice president. And it sucks, and no one listens to her, and she's a terrible person, and so is Arnold.
Okay, you're getting a little into if you're going to talk about how she gets elected for 2 seconds and then not. You're getting into a lot of it. Let's just start. We can talk about that more.
It's about politicians.
It's about specifically the main character is a vice president. They never explicitly say if she's a Democrat or Republican. We've kind of talked about this before that I was kind of saying I couldn't tell if she was a corporate. You were saying corporate Dem for sure.
I think I'm reviving it to center Republican.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought you were kind of on the money with corporate Dem, honestly. Yeah. Especially when I was
strong Hillary vibes for a while, but
I agree with that. I'm confused about why you changed your opinion because I think you're right on the money with that. I pointed out, if you'll remember when we had this conversation before, I said that I couldn't tell if she was a corporate Dem or one of those old school Republicans that don't really exist anymore, that are much closer to center. And then you rightfully pointed out that those Republicans are just now the corporate Dems. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? You're right. That's a solid point. So I think she is a corporate Dem, but I know she did I know there was there was an episode where they implied she was pro-life. I think so. Maybe she could be, but to me she seems way too centrist for any modern Republican. Although we talked about, this was made a while ago, but not that long ago. Stuff was really the start date. Stuff was really already headed. I mean, we've been headed more and more right since we have existed. As a country,
the Overton window is not doing a great right now.
Start.
Don't know.
Date. What's that?
The Overton window is the political pendulum.
Okay.
It swings one way and then it swings the other way.
Yeah, we're swinging very, very far right. Where we all be imploded in a fiery mess before it swings back. This country is doomed.
Careful.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna bust in.
I think everybody can agree that stuff's about to get pretty scary with whoever gets elected.
Yeah,
so I don't think I'm saying anything bad.
Yeah.
You're making it weird by implying I'm saying anything bad. Mm-hmm. Anyway, VEEP started in 2012.
Okay.
So right. To early 2010. Yeah. So I still think we were headed very much to the right at that point in time. So, anywho, it's about a vice president who, I said, we said, I guess you're revising and you think maybe she's a Republican. I still think she's a corporate Dem. She's a Joe Biden. Yeah. She's a lady Joe Biden.
Yeah.
She's a Hillary Clinton is what she really is.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that character is based off Hillary Clinton for sure, if I had to guess. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it is just about politicians sucking, and it's kind of, well, it's tough because this obviously was made like pre-Trump, and it like, so it kind of embodies how politics were before, how like politicians felt they needed to be very careful about what they said, but then privately they were just like, obviously garbage people, whereas now Trump has, they're just publicly garbage now because Trump has kind of normalized that. So, but it's kind of in that era where, you have to, where people like are trying to like be vague without like, like you were trying to be like vague to appeal to both sides, and just kind of like be very careful, always walking on eggshells when they're speaking publicly and things like that. And then privately they're just assholes. That's basically the whole show, right? But we can get into, if you want to talk about like specific plot lines, we can get into that too. I just think that's a lot. But like, let's talk about how we would make it gay.
There already is some gay in it.
That's true. There is. Some shows we're gonna review are gonna be like no gay. Some are gonna be like, yeah, they already have some gay. So yeah, her daughter Catherine is gay. Do you want to talk a little bit more about Catherine?
I can give like a bit of info on her.
You so give your recap, and then I'm gonna critique your recap.
Her relationship with her mother is hot garbage. She's either late in life lesbian or bisexual. It's never really clearly stated.
I think she's definitely supposed to be a lesbian. I don't think that's like, I don't know. First of all, it was 2012, and as we have spoken about many times, there's like a lot of bi erasure on a lot of programs. So like, like people are never intentionally written as bi, and like not never, but like in this show that was, in the 2010s and was like not really a queer show intended for a queer audience. Like it's just a show with one queer character that isn't revealed to be queer until like season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I guess 2 queer characters because of what's her name, Marjorie. But to me, I think there's no way she was written as bi. Like you can interpret it however you want, but there's no way she was written as bi. She was written as I wouldn't even call it a late life lesbian. Like she's like 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna say then that she in the reboot she might be bi. But anyway, getting back to the topic of it, she is lesbian, and she marries her not. She has a plotline where she married. Well,
so I think I'm gonna interject here and say, because we haven't really talked about her theme, and her theme is just basically like being ignored. That's her entire character, is being ignored. Because her mom is this politician who's very, just very self-absorbed and arguably, like a candidate for narcissistic personality disorder. If you like were those type of if you were the type of person who, or I mean, some people who actually, some people could weigh in. So I think that I don't know, like when I was in undergrad, because of never going to grad school probably, or I'll be a million years old when I do. But in undergrad, we did lots of like, there were a couple of classes where we were supposed to try to like, basically armchair diagnose a character, like particularly in like the first abnormal psychology class. I'm rude. So particularly in the first abnormal psychology class I ever took, we had to do that. So I think that it can be kind of, obviously like you can't diagnose a narcissist, even if like you were qualified. You can't do that without like months and months of therapy, probably years of therapy. But it's a character, so I would say that if you were to analyze a lot of that character's actions and stuff, like it's not a far reach that she's a narcissist probably. But either way, she's definitely very sorry for the tangent. She's definitely like very self-absorbed, and all she cares about is her career. And the only time that she ever cares about Catherine, I think it's fair to say, is if, she's using Catherine for her career, for like optics or something. So That's Catherine's whole personality, is just the person who is ignored and forgotten and fucked over. That's her whole character, right? At first.
And then, so she also marries her mom's, basically double. Like, her job is to, like, just kind of be around and look kind of like the president in case of assassins.
Yeah, it's one of her Secret Service people. It's her, like, basically her double. So, like, the joke is that first, I mean, you're kind of skipping over a lot. First, like, she has this realization that she might be gay, right? Because because Marjorie asks her out.
And she's like, oh, wait.
And then there's, like, the whole joke about, like, you know, obviously she probably has mommy issues because obviously her mom, like, ignores her and treats her like trash. And then she, like, dates this person who supposedly looks a lot like her mom. I don't think she looks anything like her.
They don't look alike.
Yeah, but the implication is that they do look alike, especially from behind. And so, like, there's some weird jokes about that. But yeah, but they honestly, like, besides the fact that that's kind of weird, I do feel that, like, they basically give her a lot of W's after that. Like, I feel like Marjorie worships her. They have a kid together, which is pretty cute. Yeah.
She gets her grandmother's inheritance.
Yeah, that's true. She gets all that money.
They open a, like, rescue farm.
It's very cottagecore and cute.
It is. So here's how I would make it more gay. Are you going to be part of this?
She's such a good little dude.
Okay, I guess. Just be quiet, please. No kisses. How I would... It has been diverted because of my dog. Okay, how I would make it more gay is I would have Gary be ace.
Okay, we haven't really even talked about...
We're going to talk about who Gary is now.
Okay, yeah, Gary is the main character, the vice president, Hillary knockoff lady's assistant. For Arrested Development fans, he's played by the same dude who plays Buster. And he's kind of just like, well, you always say he's just kind of like Buster if Buster were, like, more functional.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically, like, worships her and has this huge low-key kind of crush on her.
Definitely.
And yeah, and he's just, like, stereotypical TV assistant where he, like, basically is her everything and does all the things for her.
And
also, which is probably true in real life oftentimes.
So. Oh, for sure. And also very, like, pathetic as a character. Nobody respects him.
Yeah, true. He's just basically her bitch, but he loves being her bitch. That's his whole vibe. So yeah, I kind of agree with your take that he could be ace. I think he reads as ace very easily to people who are in the know, who are queer, basically. Like, you can look at that guy and his mannerisms and his vibe and be like, yeah, ace for sure.
Yeah. Like, I do think he, like, loves Selena the VEEP in a way, but, like, I think he's ace.
Yeah, and so this is where we talked about last time. Like, this was where there was some debate. Like, you were saying that you don't know if he would ever fuck her, but you know that he would, like, marry her. I think he would fuck her. I think that he is probably asexual, aromantic. I do think that. However...
No, he's not aromantic.
Or my bad, I do think he's, like, asexual in that way that, like... No, I do kind of think he's asexual, aromantic. I do, but I think he makes an exception for her, I guess, because I think that sexuality is fluid, so I think it's fair to say that that's possible, you know? Okay. But I don't know. I don't know. Well, anyway.
But you do think he would have sex with her?
I do think he would have sex with her, even if... what I guess I'm trying to say, even if he's not aromantic, I do think he is the type of bisexual the type of asexual that doesn't want to have sex ever, because there's definitely a spectrum there, right? Like, I don't know if you're aware, because I don't know if, like, I don't know what side of... I don't know how you're on the exact side of TikTok I'm on, but I follow it of asexuals who talk about it enough to know that, like, there's definitely a spectrum there of, like, some asexuals, like, never want to have sex, period, and some asexuals, like, will do it with the right partner. They're just not as into it. Usually I've heard a lot of asexuals describe it as, like, a massage. Like, it feels nice, really good, but they don't, like, get it, you know? Like, So there's like a spectrum there. So even if I guess he may not be aromantic, maybe it's fair to say he's hetero-romantic, but I do think it's fair to say that he would be on that side of the spectrum where he wouldn't want to have sex, period. But I think he'd make an exception for Selena, for sure. I feel like his because I think you're right. I think he's probably not aromantic because he's so, obviously there's a romantic feelings for her, like a lot. Yeah. Like, so I think that his love for her goes deep enough that he would kind of make that exception. He would want to like do anything he could to just like get closer to her and express that love if she would let him. Desperation always.
There's a lot of desperation
with that character. But yes, I think he reads his ace. I don't think there's any question about that. He just does. I don't even know how. It's just like, what was that dude from the Barbie movie? Or sorry, person. I guess we don't know for sure.
The non-binary headcanon one.
Yeah, which
Ken's best friend. It's
gonna drive me nuts. Well, anyway, it's kind of like that character. You just look at that character instantly, and you're like, oh, yeah, like in that case, non-binary, or in this case, ace. Like you just kind of look at it instantly. You're like, yep, look at them. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so I think
you said you thought Amy would be.
I think that what's the daughter of Selena's name again?
Catherine.
I think that Catherine would be bi, and I think that Amy would be a power lesbian.
I kind of like Catherine as just gay. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know, maybe not, because then, like, remember in the earlier episodes where she dates that, like,
Dan?
Well, I was gonna say where she dates that Muslim dude.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I kind of like that relationship, so we don't need to, like, totally invalidate that, I guess. Not that it's totally invalid just because she's lesbian, it's just, vibes are different.
Yeah.
I don't think she dates Dan. I think in that episode,
they fucked, at least.
I think, because you're referring to, like, the first episode where he jokes about dating his boss's daughter, but I think that's when Dan isn't actually working for the VEEP yet. I'm, like, 99% sure about
Maybe.
That.
Whatever.
Hercules is just blocking me. That's honestly, that works perfectly for me. That's fine.
Hey, how's it going?
You do.
You're a good
yeah, but you said Amy would be I could see, I think I would see Amy as a power bi. I think I would see, like, she would be a femdom. It is now.
Okay.
We're powerful.
Power bi, yeah.
Well, if there's power lesbians, I'm sure there can be power bis. Although, are power lesbians really a thing? I heard that term on, like, Sex and the City, so that's, like,
same.
very
and
straight
also,
writers.
Yeah, I've never actually
I mean, it was good. It was very transphobic at times, but for the time, it had decent queer representation.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it was like the late 90s, early 2000s. That show started in like 98. I'm like 90% sure. Yeah, let me check.
Okay.
Maybe even earlier. Okay. Oh, this is the second time I'm Googling a show's
That's how it goes.
Pilot date in this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, pilot. Season, there we go. That's the word. Yes. Okay.
Air date, if you're not seeing an answer.
898, okay. Air date.
You were right.
98, hey. June 6, 98.
Did you used to play, what was it, Sex and the City, trivia?
Izzy and Kai used to occasionally drag me to a trivia night, but I usually didn't do very well. They're the ones who usually did very well, but they also usually would, like, watch up for like a month before it. Yeah, they would like study. I wouldn't study. I'd just be like, I've seen it. I've seen every episode at least a few times.
Sound as fun if you have to like study for it.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just a good show. Maybe I should study up and go to the next one.
Okay, circling back, how else would we change?
Okay, so I actually have opposite opinion of you. I think Catherine should stay gay, but Amy should be bi, and she should be like maybe a femdom. At least a femdom with the ladies, I think. And she should, like, anger fuck Dan at least once.
I think
she should revenge fuck him, like, House of Lies style. Ooh, how do we make House of Lies more gay? Yeah, let's get into that later.
That's another episode.
But, like, I think she should, like, revenge fuck him, like, House of Lies style, because I hate how, like, in, like, the real version, he just kind of, like, he's always getting W's, and she just kind of like is fucking chilling there, like being salty and embarrassed. Just like I want her to come up instead. I don't, bro, stop.
Why are you like this?
But like, okay, well, let me see who else. I think that might be kind of it for this show. There's not a lot as much to talk about this show. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, no, wait, we are skipping a big one, like because we have different opinions. I actually think that the VEEP would be a good I think she'd be a great lesbian. I think she'd be really funny as like a femdom because she's like 4'11", and that's like half the jokes. Is played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus for my millennials, so actually know who the fuck that is. It's Elaine. It's Elaine. That's hopefully that got more people. But like I don't know. It feels right to me. I feel like she could totally be, or at least bi. I feel like she could at least be bi. Because like she, the character is like sexually adventurous and sexually aggressive. I would say that's an important part of the character.
Because I feel like she loves her ex-husband.
Yeah,
who is the character who fucks her over.
Yeah, would I want that still in? I mean, people are complicated. Again, sexuality is fluid. People are complicated. I'm trying to decide if I would want. It is kind of an interesting plotline, I think. How like, I mean, we could make it her ex-wife. We could also just have her be bi, like I said. Sure. So like, the millennial plot. We just play it. I don't appreciate you. Guard the keyboard this time. Okay. I'm annoyed. So this is probably part 2 or whatever because the cat stepped on.
I can probably put the two videos together.
Yeah, you probably can. I'm sure you can.
Videos.
There's what sword fight in your fingers.
I was making the videos touch.
I feel like you sword fighted.
Okay.
Fought. That's the word. Bro.
Well, you said you had more to say. Say it.
Well, you know what? I'm vibing for a minute here. Okay. Ain't nobody. You can cut it out, or people can enjoy my adorable dog, who is kind of an asshole. Aren't you the worst? Aren't you the worst?
Probably our fault. Sorry.
Aren't you the worst? We tried. Aren't you
some fun tricks.
You're not good. We don't like you that much.
Too dog reactive, though. He's like, oh my god, there's a dog I want to play with. We have to cross the street.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking about Selena's character. That's the rip-off Hillary Clinton. And I was talking about how I think she could. Okay, and then we were talking about got it. We were talking about her relationship with her ex-husband. How like basically he's portrayed as having this like magnetism, and they like are still very attracted to each other, but they hate each other, so they're always like fuck you, and then they're fucking like 2 seconds later. And it's kind of done in a way that I think is clever and good, in my opinion. Like, obviously, it's not, like, the most original plotline ever, but I think it's done well. And I think I would want to keep that in. I would want to keep that in, so she could be bi. I still think she could be bi, though. So, yeah, let's just make everyone queer. Gary, so to recap, Gary would be ace, but would still be...
people.
Okay, yeah. Not really, but that's fine. Well, yeah, like, all those side characters and stuff, the less... important, not necessarily side characters, but
everybody with the VEEP's kind of a side character.
I would say we named the main characters just now. I would say all those characters are main characters. The only main character I would say those are definitely main characters. The only one who I would say who is a main character who we missed is Sue. I do think Sue's a main character too. Yeah. But like those are what do you mean? That's like that's who the show focuses.
What about what's his face? The redheaded guy that has like adopts some kids.
Kind of him too, yeah. Okay, so we missed him and Sue.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of the main. I would say those are all the main characters, and I would say the side characters are literally anybody else, like that Ken guy.
Jonah, would you count Jonah as a main character?
I guess. Okay, so there are a lot of main characters, but I do think they're all main characters. I think the main characters would be like Jonah, the redheaded dude, Amy, who we said would probably be bi or lesbian, Catherine, who where we would either keep les or make bi. Selena, who I guess you don't want her to be gay. I think she should definitely be gay or bi. I think she should probably be bi.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I want to leave the Andrew plot. I think the Andrew plot is really good. Yeah.
I think Sue would be straight, but I want her to fuck that one guy that has a huge crush on her.
I do too. I think that guy's name is Ken. Is his name Ken? Yeah, I think they're cute. Yeah. I think she's supposed to have had like a boyfriend through the whole series, but we'll figure out a workaround for that. Maybe she meets him after or something. I don't know. Yeah. Or she can end up with Ken. That'd be fine too.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me. I like that. Yeah, I think Sue would be straight. I think she's straight, and that's okay. And I think obviously like Ken would be straight. I think like obviously like the fat dude who just is like depressed all the time would be straight.
Yeah.
But yeah. So to recap, Gary would be ace, but would still be in love with Selena, just like he is in the real series. Amy would. You said you like her as bi or lesbian. I don't remember.
Let me think. So I would like her as a lesbian and Catherine as a bi.
Okay, so I think Amy should be bi, and she should be like a femdom, at least with the ladies, and then Catherine can just stay lesbian, because honestly, like, Catherine is so lesbian coded, like, everything about her. Yeah. We know the casting would be different, but, like, or maybe not, because maybe I'm imagining just an alternate universe where they just made this show gay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, either way, like, her, they do such a good, like, plain Jane Leslie vibe with her, like, very straight hair and just her plain clothes, like, it's good. She's lesbian coded. She looks like every lesbian that has ever lesbians, in my opinion. So, and I think just her, like, little self-realization when what's her face just asked her out is really cute. And I think her, like, just journey is really cute, and I'm happy that she has a partner that, like, just thinks she's so special and thinks she's the world, because, like, she deserves that, and that's literally everything she, like, didn't get from her parents. Yeah. So I love that for her.
Yeah, it's really good. I think this is a good place to wrap it up.
I guess, unless you want to keep going and talk about, like, Modern Family or something.
No, I think this is enough for the first.
Okay, whatever. Bye.
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 Bye.